everyone, this is April from Penguins Creative, host of the Stationery Cafe, and I'm back at you with how many planners I'm using for 2021. And the answer is 11. I'm so excited to share what I plan to do with all these notebooks. And to be honest, I have to just put a disclaimer out there. I'm a stationery enthusiast. And stationery is my hobby, so I use most of these, some for work, some for productivity, but a lot of them for fun. So that's why, I'm utilizing so many notebooks and planners, because I really just love playing with stationery in my spare time as well. So I'm going to go through with you my usuals, which includes like the Hobonichi Techo, the Nolty Listy, and the planners I'm going to use for work, as well as go into some other books, fun books like the FleurirLab and like the Hobonichi Day Free, and how I plan to use them to make fun projects, journals, and then, kind of fulfill my life creatively. So look forward to this video, and I'll be flipping through each journal. Of course, my first planner that I want to talk about is always the reliable Hobonichi Techo cousin in the Avec form that I use year after year. And in fact, this was the one from the year before, and it's already a very chunky boy, and it's only been half a year. So this is my reliable memory keeping, creative journaling, live blogging, and everywhere that, I'm going to record the fun things that's happening in my life. So let's actually set it up right now. January to June. I always love enclosing it in a Midori clear cover on cover, because it really gives me that sense of security that it won't get bent inside the covers. And it's an easy way to archive each Techo once you're done with it. So I just take them out of the Hobonichi, the fabric cover or the polyester cover, and just can easily set this on a shelf without worrying about, getting it dirty. So here's the Hobonichi Techo cousin. And this year, I'm housing it in the beautiful kadan cover from Hobonichi itself. So kadan in Japanese means like a flower bed. And so this cover was designed by a textile designer, or I think also like a stage performing, costume designer. So this kadan cover is designed so that whichever angle you turn, you can still see flowers kind of growing from each angle. And the inside is this gorgeous gray. And the bookmark is this really pretty butterfly embroidery thing. And because this is not enough, I don't want to, risk getting this dirty for a while. So I'm going to put a clear cover on this. So you can see each year, because I treasure this book so much, I really go in depth in keeping it as secure as possible, from the most inside insert layer to the outpost layer. I chose a simple clear cover on cover because this cover design is already busy enough, and this actually allows me access to the back pocket, which only the clear simple cover on cover has. So here's my first book, and this is the Hobonichi Techo Cousin Avec. I'm gonna use the monthly as like a month at a glance, little highlights with illustrations and stickers. For the daily, weeklies, I'm going to be logging, each day's event as it happens from the beginning to when I sleep. And this includes really mundane things like, chores, laundry, meeting a certain person, eating somewhere, and just this is like a condensed life log that I can really have fun with using stickers, washi tapes, and creative things. And of course, with the daily pages, this is where I kind of either doodle or paint or use cutouts and stick in ephemeras or tip into postcards and anything that kind of documents each individual day. And if there's nothing special, I sometimes copy quotes. I sometimes just copy lyrics and find ways to fill it up so that each day of my life, the 365 days, can be filled as much as possible. And I love the colored variation of the Japanese Techo as it goes through the seasons. And also to share what I do with my 100, usually this is where I write down my firsts. So first time getting a car, first time taking Cookie, my puppy, to a walk at this lake. So everything that kind of are memorable and like it's the first time I try it, this is my 100 firsts. So this is book 1 of my setup for 2021, the Hobonichi Techo cousin. My second book for my this year's setup is the Nolty Listy 1, which is actually the vertical layout. And I've talked about it in previous videos, and I really enjoyed using the Nolty Listy as my daily planner. So this is really sort of a functional catch-all planner in an A5 slim size that allows me to jot down important dates, appointments, things to be reminded of, as well as on a daily basis, chores, tasks, to-do lists, and things I want to get done on a personal level, financially, health-wise, and everything related to my family and myself. Not work-related, which we'll talk about in the next planner. So just to give you an example how I've been using it this year, my planner for that I've been using last year and work as my personal planner is also the Listy. And with a clip flip through, you can see it's a combination of to-do lists, task lists, logs, and also just a lot of fun sticker decorations. It allows me to, play with my personal chores, decorate like fun events, but also a very ample space to jot down what needs to get done and reminders at the beginning of the week. And I love using the monthly pages because the monthly dates fills up the entire A5 slim size, and it's not as big as a full A5 page, but also just enough to allow me to write down appointments, change things, and it's actually very scrappy. Like I would cross out things, I would draw lines and redirect it to another date, and I would put in sticky notes. And here I have this new fun clip that I bought that allows me to use these as little memo notes for when I need to jot down special events. So one of the things I will be migrating is this really useful functional pocket from Hobonichi. This one, you will slot it at the back here. Actually, let me remove all the things. So I love using this at the back, and it really allows me to jump to the current page that I need to see. For example, we're currently on this week, and I will just slot it like this. And whenever I open it, it immediately takes me to the week's agenda. So I love using this bookmark saver here. And of course, I will be installing more bookmarks, more tabs, functional things onto this book as well. So the Noti Listy, I highly recommend if you want like a portable, slim, but also nice looking planner for your daily to-goes. The third planner I'll be using is actually housed in my Hobonichi trifold called the Classic Beige, and it's the Noti Efficiency Techo. So you can see it's quite small compared to a typical A5 size notebook, but it's also very convenient because of its size. So this is a brand from Noti, and this is kind of their mass market, cheaper version of the Noti Efficiency Techo. The other one I talk about extensively on my blog post about all Noti notebooks. And this one's green and has like a green lining on the side. So what this notebook includes are Gantt charts in the monthly section, horizontal weeklies on the weekly section, and it goes all the way to the back with some extra note pages in various styles. So we have some grids, some ruled, and some graph paper as well. So this is very popular in the Japanese community, and I love using it as just like a little small catch-all for jotting down events that I need to be aware of. Weekly digest of just random thoughts and ideas. I've already started using it because this book started in the first week of December. So I am really inspired by the way Japanese users use this, and this is different from my other planners because it's so portable. I'm able to take it with me wherever I go. So this is actually my on-the-go thought catcher, just like the Hobonichi founder said in one of his blog posts. The Hobonichi Techo, the A6 size, is meant to be with you at all times to catch any random fleeting ideas or thoughts that you have. And someone else also told me that, our brain can't really retain ideas, but they help us have ideas. So I want a little small notebook available for me to just write down really random things, and that comes to mind that are either a reminder or something that I can later transfer to the Hobonichi Techo. So I'm eager to start officially in 2021, and so I've been just kind of using these pages as practice for now. And because the monthly section is definitely interesting in the Gantt chart form, I'm still experimenting with how to organize events and things I need to be aware of, since this will be my best reference notebook if I'm like in the car or going out for grocery or randomly meeting people and having to make appointments. So I did try to section the Gantt chart into the top and bottom half. The top are actually plans for myself, and the bottom half are like plans for work. So a little quick digest that I can look at at a glance. And you might be asking, okay, why is there a second notebook in this thing? So this is the dated planner. And this is actually a notebook also from the Noti brand called the Memoti. And it's the Memoti notebook that accompanies this size, and it's completely grid note pages. So I plan to use this as a capture of the overflow that happens in this book. So because each week is so small, sometimes if I find myself sitting at a cafe or anywhere and I have some more interesting things that I want to like document or write down that doesn't fit here, I can move it into this notebook if necessary. So they fit perfectly as two books inside my Hobonichi trifold, with a space to spare for a pen or two and some memo notes and cards. So this is definitely my on-the-go organizer with the two planners for when I go out to run errands. Like I would even just carry this if I need to run to USPS or to go grocery shopping. So this and the Noti planner and the Hobonichi Techo are the three staples that's going to help organize and document my life for 2021. Now, the next planner I want to introduce, and I think I've talked about it already, is the Noti PDCA Notebook. And this is a very cool planner, actually, that has this interesting vertical weekly layout, a space where you can jot down to-do and tasks, an interesting priority chart at the bottom where you can list down tasks and to-dos based on urgency and importance, and then also a check section and an action section for you to review each week's performance and make improvements. And I plan to use this notebook, this planner, for work and project-based items. And for now, I am focused on using this for planning out things for the stationery cafe. So this notebook planner has a very interesting layout. It has all the sections perfectly designed to help you make plans in advance, so you can look at like 2 months at a glance instead of 1, so you can think about appointments ahead. And as for the weekly layout, I already started trying it out. I have daily done tasks up here, as well as for throughout the day, I would write down things that I did for the Stationery Cafe podcast. And here I would prioritize some tasks that I need to get done. And here are just general to-dos or ideas that I want to remind myself of this week. And what I love is this check section, which I kind of wrote down things that at the end of the week, what did I do well this week in regards to completing this task, and why do I think what made it better and what made me do so well. And then here is the action plan for next week. So for example, focus and don't overthink before each task. The other one, don't eat sweets as it makes me carb crash and not focus on getting my job done. And then this way, coming on to the next week, I'm able to make better plans, reprioritize my tasks again, and then I utilize sticky notes so I can move them from page to page. So this is purely a functional planner that is going to be focused on work, project, or whatever business I'm working on. And in the back, there are plenty of note pages, and I also did a pen test back here as well. And surprisingly, a lot of pens did really well on this paper. Now you might have seen my other video, and it's a video on how I use the Hobonichi weeks to organize and keep track of my health. And of course this year I had to do it again because it's been so helpful, and I've really utilized my Hobonichi weeks to the max this year. Let me just do a quick flip through. So on a monthly basis, I track down little major, headaches or little pains and activities that I've been doing. And on a weekly basis, I write down on the left side food that I ate each day, and on the right, I write about my physical and mental health. So it's a great combination of assessment of my well-being, both on a physical level, my meals, and emotional level. And then it really allows me to be very introspective about how I'm feeling and how I'm physically doing and how that interferes or affect my daily performance. And of course, this is another great platform and place to decorate with stickers, fun things. And I don't really give myself too much pressure if I don't document certain things like every single day, but at a glance, when things are super significant, I put them in. And on the spare note pages, I use it to write down certain notes about health, notes I found online about my posture. I have a self-care bingo going on back here, tracking seasonal drinks and all that. And I have a lot of fun little stickers in the back to help me use as reference and tabs in the weekly section. So this year I decided to migrate, instead of a normal weeks, into a weeks mega, because I feel like I can really take advantage of the note pages to write down more things regarding my health issues, mental issues, or things that I research online on how to deal with the basic daily pains and aches. And I think I want this to be a book that allows me to take care of myself even better. This year I chose the beautiful cherry blossom pink because I really thought it went well with my planners this year. Look at this really beautiful cutesy pastel theme I have going on, because I want 2021 to be a cheerful year. So it's this beautiful kind of linen cover. It says 2021, And as you guys all know, the Hobonichi Weeks Mega is special because it has so much extra pages. And I think it really will allow me to jot down extra stuff and write more notes about my personal well-being. So I'm gonna actually use an old cover-on-cover I had used for my Weeks Mega this year, and it's this Albon Pandore, this bread shop cover-on-cover from 2015, I believe. And I thought it is a very cute accent to this plain pink background I have here. So let me just slide that in. Yay! It looks so nice. And because once you get the cover on cover, it already has this back pocket. So sometimes I usually put this back pocket they included over here on the left side, so I can slide, bigger sheets into the book. It's gonna poke out, but that's fine. Instead of, if you put it in here, you end up not being able to put bigger sheets of things into the inside cover. But I'm gonna do that later. So again, just kind of to review how I plan to use this notebook. The monthly pages is gonna track my overall health, female issues and stuff. And then on the weekly section, I'm gonna divide these into 3, where I track breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what I eat for each day. And here I break my notes page into 2 sections. And for one, I'm gonna write about my physical aches or pains for each day, if it ever occurs. And then on the right, I'm gonna write about my emotional well-being. And so, sometimes they may be reflection of what I'm frustrated about the day, or what I'm worried about, or what I feel happy about. And these are things that I'm gonna write down. And they could be like a sentence to a paragraph. There's that. So you might have already seen this. This is gonna be my 3rd year using the 5-year Techo. I started in 2019, so going 3 years strong. And I've been doing good, I would say. My first year, I wasn't as diligent. My 2nd year, which is this year, I was a little bit better. And I got more bold about decorations. And, I still miss days, but I feel okay about missing these days because I don't expect myself to fill in each day as if every day has something really significant. And in fact, I kind of plan to use this 5-year Techo differently this year for next year for 2021. I am going to be jotting down super significant things on the left if it ever occurs. And in fact, I'm gonna write about more mundane things and utilize more of the space on the right side. I've kind of been saving it for this special occasion, but we're almost halfway through this book. So it'd be interesting to see how this year will differ from my use next year. So my 5-year Techo, an at a glance look at how I've progressed, my milestones, significant achievements, and fun things that happens in my life for these important 5 years. So we've really gotten into the fun section over here. I've talked about many planners right now, and many of them are for productivity, for organizing my life, but sometimes, stationery to me is also a hobby, so I like to explore different systems and use different notebooks for fun projects, for decoration, for collaging, and for memory keeping, So this is a Hobonichi day free, which means it's got no date and it's just a blank page with quotes and just a notebook full of grid paper and Tomoe River paper. This is becoming my puppy journal. I just got a new puppy this year. It's a golden doodle, but this is my friend's dog. And I am using it to log everything about him, starting from 7.5 weeks old to how he is today. And there are important things in here like vet visits and stuff from that. And there's also fun collages about the whole process, gifts people gave him, little milestones, little cute things that they did, and then also just fun decorative collages of cute cookie and how he's grown over the days. So this is kind of like my baby journal, but I'm not a mother, but my baby is my puppy. So this is gonna be a fun book where I can, kind of record his growth and just have fun and remember the days of spending time and enjoying that puppy process that will never come again. And this is housed in this beautiful cover by Hobonichi as well. The beautiful cover called Umikoto. And I've already stuffed a bunch of things in here, like sticky notes, notes from my friend on how to take care of dogs, of puppies, and it's got this really nice design that just makes me happy. And it's so small and portable, no pressure journaling is what I call it, with this A6 size. Speaking of another fun planner, I have my Traveler's Notebook. I'm sure many people use this the Traveler's Notebook journal notebook system, and I use it just for traveling, weekend trips, and overspills of things that did not make it into my Hobonichi, because after all, each day can only jot down or record so much. Some weekends when I do extra stuff, I have the chance to record them in my Traveler's Notebook. So I use a Dot-grid insert, and this is where I really log down fun events that happen in the weekends, or special outings, or significant days. And I also have a watercolor sketchbook insert as well, just for fun art and painting projects. And this is a Starbucks Reserve special camel leather cover from Japan. And I've been using this for as long as I've used the Hobonichi Techo, and this has always just been a fun accompaniment to my journaling lifestyle. Another fun system that I use for creative journaling is this London Gifties notebooks that I just started in October 2020. And this is where I kind of try to follow a bullet journaling style where I do these monthly spreads. I document Happy Mail here in the vertical form. I write about stuff I bought. I write about fun painting outings, news things that I bought, pen tests, pen swatches, ink swatches, all that fun stuff. So on a monthly basis, I can collect and swatch beautiful fun stationery things and document my stationery cafe virtual meetups and the things we painted. So quick flip through, it's super random, and it sometimes even contains Happy Mail from friends that I put together. Sometimes I would love to put them in my Hobonichi, but it really stuffs it too thick. So these would just be like a little catch-all fun planner that I can use to document my creative life. So this is the London Gifties sort of bullet journaling notebook. Now we're getting into two interesting tiny stationery notebooks. And this one I also talked about in a previous planner video, and it's the Fleurir planner, FleurirLab Daily Planner. So it's got daily pages. I tabbed it with the Traveler's Notebook monthly tab already, and this is going to be my meditation, mindfulness journal, and just to show you a quick example of how I used it in the past. This was the one from last year, and I really use it just as a general digest kind of mindful review each time after I do a meditative practice. And they could just be random ramblings about my thoughts, my feelings, and this book itself really lends to that peaceful mindfulness intention. And so I am excited to put it to good use again, because I found that being more aware of my thoughts and my feelings this year had really helped me cope with, the world politically and environmentally and, coronavirusly. So this is gonna be my mindfulness journal. It's got monthly pages attached to the daily pages. monthly page, and then you have the daily pages that follow. I may do interesting fun collages in them. I may also just really use it as a place to rant and ramble and write about random things. And what's lovely about this book is this really kind of like very handmade bound look. The paper cover is sturdy but also elegant. But I'm still sort of debating if I should put a clear cover on this, but we'll see. Again, this is the A6 size. I always find this size to be non-pressuring. You know, I can leave a day blank, or I could write as much as I want into the next day. So this is going to be my mindfulness catch-all notebook for 2021. And finally, this guy came out of nowhere and really kind of was a surprise to my lineup for 2021. It's a collaboration between Mr. Eggplants and Thinking of You, and I'll be unboxing it right here. Wow. The Thinking of You planner, or they call it Thinking of You book, is a Taiwanese planner designed by the brand Thinking of You and in collaboration with Mr. Eggplant, who is a very famous I guess Instagrammer and journaler in the Taiwanese stationery community. And so they really designed this planner or notebook with the collaging and the stationery community in mind, because the layout is so unique, so collage friendly, and so interesting that it really will make you want to decorate and be creative in terms of your spreads. So a basic look at their weekly layout, you have the days of the week laid out with 4 days condensed on the left side and 3 days on the right side, which I think kind of, is because for Taiwanese people or most people who works the normal work day, you actually have more fun during the weekend, from Friday night outings to plans for the weekends. They want you to have the space to document all the fun things you do on the weekends. And on top, you have these like horizontal lines that you can use as a to-do or just general writing. Mr. Eggplants is really good with lettering, so this book is filled with fun sentences and phrases, written by herself. And let's take a look in the monthly page too. Unlike usual boxes, instead you get vertical rows. So it's much more interesting to look at. Your drawings, your doodles wouldn't be interrupted by many lines. And again, there's like this vertical space for you to write down to-dos or general notes. And this book is very much reliant also on like the lunar calendar as well. So don't be confused by these numbers underneath the main one, because those are the lunar calendars. So each week is essentially a weekly spread. And what's fun is that after each month, you have these fun lettering practices that you can utilize the space to do, because Mr. Eggplant's lettering is really interesting, and you really can practice some, brush lettering if you want, or just general, italicized writing. So now you're asking, what am I using this book for? I plan to utilize this Taiwanese-made planner with all the fun spaces, and I'm gonna be using it as a Chinese journal. So my main mother tongue is actually Mandarin, and I have been losing my touch with writing Chinese, so I really want to use this as a way to reconnect with my roots. I'll be documenting more things about my relationship and my catching up with friends back home, my family. So many of them will definitely be in more of a Mandarin and Chinese context. So this is going to be the space where I can do fun collages following the Taiwanese stationery community style, and also allows me to write more in Chinese. So this is a fun book. I'm not sure if I'm committed to doing that for the whole year, but I'm going to try. And so she includes some fun stickers and a very cool zine of hers, as well as a demonstration of how she typically uses this journal, where she writes kind of vertically, decorated it, and then have to-do list. So that's it, the last planner. So that's it, guys. This is my plans for 2021. 11 planners, not that bad, right? Well, if you break it down, and I'll probably follow up throughout the rest of the year and let you guys know how I keep up with all these. And I'm pretty confident I can really utilize them. And again, no pressure if you think 11 planners is too much, because honestly, I don't use them on a daily basis except for a few of these. I just want to share this video with you guys to let you know, the different things that you can use and do with your journal. And if you really want a more in-depth explanation about each planner, feel free to check out the Stationery Cafe episode 39. Episode 39 is where me and my co-host talk about our Techo Kaigi, which is our Techo plans for 2021, including the lineup and the go-through of what planners we're using for 2021, as well as how we're using them. And if you really like my channel, you feel free to subscribe and click that button over there. And, stay tuned to more of my planning journey for 2021. Thanks, guys.